Okay, so I put about 4 hours or so into Skate at the time of this recording. I recently got access to the playtest about July 15th. Literally the day of my birthday, which also thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes and all that in the last video. It really means a lot. I wasn't going to make my review yet. I was because of the NDA, but I'm seeing people breaking their NDA and talking about it, so I figured why not hop on the bandwagon and just break the NDA, because who gives a shit at this point. The game comes out in a month. Either or, my points are still gonna stand. And before I get started, I just want to let you guys know, a huge disclaimer, this is all subject to change, so anything that I say in this video can and will and potentially can be changed later. And without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm gonna structure this video in 2 parts. First part is gonna be things that I like about the game. The second part is what I dislike about the game. You know, I don't want to sit here and completely bash this game to death. I understand this is like a pre-alpha and we're gonna be getting a beta soon. Certain points I'm not gonna harp on for too long because it's not in the current build. It'll probably be added later on, but it's just points that I wanted to add into here just in case they don't add it later. But anyway, let's get started. So things that I do like about this game: skating and the controls do feel great. That was one of my main worries, was that this game was not going to feel or play nearly as good. And safe to say, yes, controls, everything feel great. Doesn't feel janky or there's no weird delay or anything. It's really nice. I like the flick system they have now. It's really improved upon. You know, way better than Skate 3, I would say, in terms of just the way it feels. I would say it's on par with Skate 3. And next thing on my list, you know, being able to climb almost any structure and doing parkour is pretty cool. I can see the potential of the amount of lines people can do with this, and I definitely can't wait to see how crazy people get with this parkour mechanic. But yeah, being able to climb stuff is definitely a game changer. You know, that's definitely one of the things I was looking forward to, is being able to actually climb buildings and stuff without having to do some weird glitches or anything like that. So I really like that mechanic. On a third thing on my list, being able to see every player on the map. I was kind of worried that the online was going to be kind of like bare bones, but I'm glad that I can see everybody who's in the session skating around. Definitely adds more to the immersion of the world. You know, you could just casually be skating and there'll be like 5 dudes trying to jump a staircase or something. It's really cool. Alright, so number 4 on things that I do like about this game: it still has that good old-fashioned skate jank to it. Skates, it still feels like a skate game, you know, with the wacky physics bugging out every now and again, the ragdoll, everything that we all loved from Skate 3 is still here in terms of jank, you know. And I hope they don't change anything unless it's genuinely game breaking, but please, EA, do not touch the jank. Alright, keep it as it is. You know, I love it. It reminds me of Skate 3. Don't change it, please. Unfortunately, this is the last bit on my list on things that I like about the game, but the very last thing is that there is crossplay enabled. So if you have console buddies and you're on PC like I am, you guys can actually, you know, hop in a session and actually have a good time. You don't have to worry about buying a separate console or vice versa. I'm glad that we finally have a modern skate game that has crossplay, so that's one of the biggest upsides I see from this game so far. Unfortunately, we have reached the other half of the video. This is where I will try and not dig into the game as much, but there will be some points in here that I definitely need to make an emphasis on. So this section is going to be things that I 100% dislike about the game. So one of the first things that I noticed about this game is that there's no dark slide catches or nothing like of the sort. That is completely removed from this game. They had it in Skate 3. I don't know why they removed it in this version. Maybe in the future they might add dark slide and dark catches, but yeah, you cannot dark catch in this game. Only reason I can think of why they didn't include it was to, I guess, prevent the trick lining meta that was going on back in Skate 3 from happening. That's the only thing I can assume is why it's not in the game. But other than that, I see no other reason. It's just add dark catches. I don't know why they didn't do that. Music is pretty subpar. I'm not too into like the music in this game. It's not really it's kind of basically a hit or miss for me, and majority of the time I'm skating with the music off. That's just my personal preference, but even when I'm in the menus, it's okay. You know, it's not something that screams, yeah, this is a skate vibe. I've seen people make better playlists on Spotify and stuff, so maybe EA can go look at those kind of playlists and see if they can license some of those songs over for this game. But yeah, but currently the soundtrack is kind of trash. I think next thing on my list, there's absolutely no way to like communicate with people. There's no voice chat, no text chat, nothing. At least in this current build. Again, I'm well aware this is an alpha build, a pre-alpha build. I'm not gonna harp on a lot of these points for too long, but I definitely would have liked to see like them test out proximity chat and all that. Currently, there is no way to communicate with players in here, unless you're in a Discord or party chat or some shit like that. Number 4 on my list: challenges are boring and tedious. They're not that really interesting in my opinion. I can only do these for so long before I'm just bored. Challenges are just boring. There's nothing really interesting about them. Usually it's something like collecting items or doing certain tricks and whatnot. whatnot in one sequence. There is really bare bones, I'll say the least. And I'm hoping by the beta there'll be way more interesting challenges. But right now, in the current build, they are just boring. And fifth thing on my list, leveling up takes forever. So basically, this point and my last point kind of go hand in hand. The challenges are boring and tedious, but in order to level up, you have to do them. And leveling up takes so fucking long in this game. I put about maybe 4 hours in this game. I'm only like level 4, I think. I'm not constantly sitting here grinding challenges all the time. Even then, leveling up just takes so long. And there's so many different things to do. It just feels like it takes forever to level up. That's just me personally. It's probably just because I'm not playing the game as much. It's now time to talk about everybody's favorite pastime, EA, and their favorite thing in the world, microtransactions and loot boxes. Yes, there is loot boxes in this fucking game. Loot boxes aren't the biggest problem in this game, surprisingly, because you can earn them by just playing the game. So, but they are tied to, I think, like the challenge coins or whatnot. Not to say that it won't be as bad, but coming from EA, I would expect it to get worse after beta. So just be mentally prepared for that. And not to mention too, the shop. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not gonna harp on this for too long, but I think nobody's really highlighting this, as every time I see a video talking about it, nobody mentions it. But the shop prices, it needs to be adjusted. I'm gonna put up a picture of us on the screen of the current shop right now at the time you're recording this. There is a premium currency. The only way you can unlock premium currency at the moment is buying them with your real life money. I am assuming that if you buy these during the pre-alpha, you keep these, or they at least refund you your coins. Because if they don't, that's probably gonna be another problem. But yeah, you can buy stuff in the pre-alpha. The prices are a little bit ridiculous. They're selling the black high top vans for like fucking 700 coins, which I guess is like $7 IRL. Me personally, I'm not paying $7 for a fucking digital shoe. You're out of your goddamn mind. I highly doubt they'll be changing the prices anytime soon. But yeah, if you are thinking about buying some cosmetics, yeah, you're probably gonna be paying a pretty penny for these. So be mentally prepared for that dumpster fire once this finally comes out to the public. Coming on the next part of my list, San Van just lacks like oomph. Like, it lacks the spots. What I mean by the spots, you know, I mean stuff like getting a super ultra mega park, the campus grounds, the quarries, you know, just there was a lot more interesting POIs in Skate 3 that made it more memorable. San Fran feels really flat, and there's really nothing there that stands out, at least for right now. I don't know what the plans are. I'm guessing there's rumors going on that they're making a second map. Who knows when that's coming out, but yeah, so far San Fran really lacks a lot of interesting POIs, to be honest with you. Alright, next thing on my list, there's currently no PvP modes. Like, at all. There's no PvP modes in this game for some reason. There's no competitions, no death races, no hollow meat, nothing. So basically, it's just, you just skate around with your party, and that's about it, and then doing challenges. I'm hoping that we have actual competitions and stuff in the beta build, but so far in pre-alpha, there ain't shit to do in this. If you're like me, you don't have anybody to play this with, it gets boring pretty fast. And, you know, it's kind of crazy. You know, there's no own the spots, no nothing. So hopefully, in the next build, we actually have something to do PvP-wise. And next one, it's more of a graphical issue more than anything else, but I'm noticing there's a lot of popping recently, especially with like textures and stuff, like from far away. You know, there's some really bad popping. There's certain instances where like textures don't fully load in, but for the most part, I haven't had any issues performance-wise. I haven't had any crashing or anything like that as of recently. So, and I know people talk about like the graphics being downgraded. I personally don't really care. As long as the gameplay's fine, I could care less about the graphics. You know, not my biggest concern right now. Hopefully in the future they add more graphical updates for like consoles and PC players. But yeah, I don't mind the art style. It's not the end of the world for me. One of the biggest things I don't like about this game is that there is no story mode. No story mode, no pro skaters, nothing. This is basically one of the biggest side pains when it comes to this game being free to play, is that there is no single player content. No, there's nothing. Without some kind of story progression or anything, it is kind of boring. You know, there's really nothing to work towards, apart from like maybe like getting a skateboard deck or some shit like that. That's another thing I hate about this fucking game right now. The rewards you get for just grinding this game are pretty fucking lackluster, I'm gonna be honest with you. You spend all this time grinding certain challenges and stuff, and the rewards are you get 150, 120 coins and like a t-shirt that you probably will never use. Or a fucking rail. Some dumb shit like that. I don't know why the reward system in this game is so garbage. But like, what's the point of me playing this right now? I'd rather not play. I'd rather go play fucking Skate 3. I definitely think if they added some costumes or something, right, to make it a little more interesting. That would be nice. And that's kind of like the biggest thing I have about this game is there's really not a lot to grind for, unfortunately. Would I say this game is terrible? No, this game is pretty fun, and I'm having a fun time playing it by myself. You know, I'm hoping that my buddies have access to this beta soon or whatever, or at least I can find somebody else to play this with. It does have potential to be a really good game. Controls do feel good. You know, we still have that skate jank. Would I say it'll probably be one of the better skate games? It's kind of hard to say, really. Maybe in the first year it might have its growing pains, but I can see it potentially being, you know, up there in terms of like the best skate games. There's a lot of other things I didn't touch on this video. I didn't talk about control schemes and all that. I just think those are not really important. I mean, my recording's already going off like 30 minutes or so, and I don't know how long the video is gonna be precisely, so I'm just gonna end it here. I definitely think skate has potential to be a good skate game. I am still optimistic about this game. I'm definitely gonna be playing it when it comes out for the beta and when it officially releases. So, but anyway, yeah, that's my review for Skate. If you guys have enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys haven't already, be sure to check out my second channel at Just Yex. That's where I post other gaming related videos over there. I'm in the works of making more fighting game videos for you guys. If you guys are interested in some anime designs, I make these myself. Come support me. redbubble.com/YexDesigns. I recently just made an initial design, and I got some other cool shit over there. So if you guys want to support me in the channel, hop over there and buy some shit for me. You know, I could use the extra cash. And yeah, that's it from me. Hope you guys have a very good day. My name is Yex, and I'm gonna be playing Skate for the time being. See ya.